Over the year, I have done a lot of these theory-based bass fishing videos like the 80-20 rule of bass fishing and fishing the extremes. And a lot of you guys really like kind of these bass fishing theory videos. And today I have another one for you. It's one that I think is really important. It's going to help you to catch a lot more bass, especially on pressured bodies of water. And that's all about reverse bass fishing. So stay tuned, it's gonna be a good one. This video is brought to you by the Deep Dive app. This is an app that you can download on your phone that really helps you to find and locate bass on your local bodies of water a lot quicker. Once you get to the body of water, you can select the lake you are fishing, and then you can input certain data elements like water temperature, water clarity, whether you're fishing around vegetation or in a protected or windy area. Once you put this data in, the app is going to spit out lures and strategies on where and what you can do to catch bass. It's very accurate, it's backed by a lot of data, and if you guys want to download this app, there is a link down below in the description, and it's greatly going to help support the Bass Fishing HQ channel. A number of years ago, I was fishing a local tournament here in Ohio. I think this is when I was 18 or 19 years old, and I'd actually practiced the day before this tournament to try and locate a group of fish, and that is exactly what I did. I was able to find a group of fish on kind of a main lake point. Now, this point was not a secret point by any means. It was actually one of the most popular points on this particular body of water. But I caught two fish back to back on this little area, and I was getting bit. I was casting up there, shaking fish off, and then I was like, all right, there's a lot of fish here. This is where I'm going to start. So come tournament day, there was a few guys that were already on this area by the time that I had got to it. So I tried to get in there, but what I noticed is that nobody that was there, including myself, was actually catching any fish. But because I had practiced the day before and I had practiced in a lot of other areas, this was basically all that I had. This was the only area that I felt confident in that I could catch some fish. Over the course of the morning, those boats that were all in that area, I mean, nobody was really catching fish. I mean, I could visibly see these guys, and everybody kind of started to go off in different directions. But me not really knowing where else I could go, I decided to stay there. And I finally was able to kind of get onto the exact lineup where I could catch these fish. And I made a couple of casts up there, and I wasn't catching anything. And this was right where another boat had been, and I kept thinking to myself, maybe they had caught them even though I couldn't see them, but I really felt that I would have been able to see these guys. So like I said, because I had nowhere else to go, I kind of meandered to the shallow part of this point, and instead of going from casting from deep to shallow and bringing my Carolina rig, I actually sat right up on top of the point, and I cast it out to that deep water, and I started bringing it that way. And lo and behold, on like it was either the first or second cast, I caught a really good keeper fish for this particular tournament. It was like a 2.5 pounder. And then I went ahead and I cast out there again, and I ended up catching a limit off this spot, literally where all these boats had just been. And it was all because I had done something that was just a little bit different, and what I call reverse fishing. Reverse fishing actually applies to whether you're fishing off the bank or shallow, and I'm going to talk about how it applies to shallow in just a minute. But in this situation, every boat that was in that area had been casting from deep water up to shallow and bringing their bait down. That's kind of the typical way a lot of us bass fishermen fish. And I actually, just because I had nothing else to do, I got shallow, I cast it out deep, and I started catching this fish. I was reverse fishing. I was doing something in the opposite direction that most guys do it. Okay, now I want you to take this concept and you can apply it to a lot of different situations in bass fishing. As a matter of fact, how you can apply this in shallow water, this is something that I literally just heard Chris Zaldane talk about a couple of years ago. And he was talking about fishing a glide bait up shallow around docks. And he said the exact same thing. He said that most guys, when they line up on a dock, they are going to be kind of in that deeper water, and they're going to cast up shallow and bring that bait down. Now, what he likes to do is actually get shallow on the shallow part of that dock and cast out to the deeper water and bring his bait in a different direction than most bass are seeing. And guys, this is something that can really help you to catch a lot more bass, like I said, in very pressured bodies of water. It seems like almost every fishery that I go to these days, there's a lot of pressure on the lake. And a lot of guys have the exact same mindset. They're out there doing the exact same thing, casting in the exact same way. Like I said, from deep to shallow, or they're casting at a target in the exact same way. Now, like I said with Chris Zaldain, he likes to go shallow, cast out deep, and bring his bait the opposite way across that dock than most people do. And he says that it helps him to get a couple of extra bites each and every day. And that's the most important thing about reverse fishing. I'm not saying that it's always going to make a humongous difference, but I do think that sometimes it can help you to catch that extra fish, that extra 2 fish, maybe that extra 3 fish over the course of a day that can really add up, especially when you're talking about big fish, you know, because big fish are smart, right? Big fish are not always out in the middle of the lake. Sometimes they are on those areas that see a lot of pressure, but they get big for a reason, right? Because they're smart. They understand what is happening. So if they keep seeing lures come from the exact same way all the time, and then you all of a sudden present a different lure in a different manner at a different direction, that is what is going to help you to catch maybe that one big fish. If you fish a pond, a public pond that sees a lot of pressure, guys may be going around that pond in the exact same way for whatever reason. It's just how they like to fish. So if you notice that guys are going around that pond the exact same way, try simply going the opposite. Go in reverse, and again, showing those bass a lure in a different direction. I'm telling you, it's going to help you to get a lot more bites. So that's just a couple of examples. Like I said, you can apply it in your specific situation, and I think it's going to help you to catch a lot more bass. Now, if you want to hear more bass fishing theory type videos, this is another one that I did right here, all about the 80-20 rule of bass fishing. So if you guys enjoyed it, I think you'll enjoy this one as well. Please comment below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.